we were just talking about not just having fun playing, but as you get older and have a little more responsibility, it's important to be able to make a living in the music business. And there are a few tools um, that have enabled me to not only be more creative, but have more influence over the people I'm working with, and it all is based on technology, really. Aside from having a good time, playing, showing up on time, all that kind of stuff. Um, the fact of the matter is, most acts that I see that are on some sort of that are selling a certain amount of tickets and records, everyone is playing along the tracks to a certain level. There's some people are playing completely the tracks, but more often what I see, because I do get to see a behind the scenes view of this, is sometimes it's just a simple click track in the computer that's syncing up to the video that's on the video wall. Other times there's also the video in the session, but there's also maybe backing vocal effects. There's some little a band like Coldplay. I mean, they have tons of tracks. Band like U2, they have tons of keyboard tracks, and you got to believe after the record comes out that they're not really going to come up and play as a three-piece, four-piece. There are tracks happening, but they can be edited and mixed in a very musical way where it doesn't take anything away from the show or feel like playback. Uh, when I went to see U2, it just felt like one of the most amazing shows I've ever seen. Um, so anyway, I started getting more interested in digital audio, whether it's Pro Tools, Ableton Live, whatever the program is that you're using. Um, I developed a method of using Ableton Live where I can run tracks with NENA and Enrique where we're not locked to the playback, because you can make certain markers within the session and you can stop it. I control it all from a old drum cat and where I can turn things off. I can jump to the click track. We have open sections where people are singing along, totally open. It's not rehearsed as far as how many bars it is, but I know when I hit that pad that this section is going to come in, so I have a template for each song that kind of works that way. And neither NENA or Enrique really use much track at all, but there are certain things, if it's again syncing with the video, or certain drum loops that just don't make any sense to play live, that I'm doubling, and that's the real sound that makes it happen. So um, I'm not saying that everyone needs to have huge knowledge about the programs. I mean, that's been very helpful to me, but any drummer now who wants to get involved on any touring on a large scale at least has to be very comfortable playing with the tracks and making the tracks marry, making the drumming married to the tracks to the point where the band doesn't really have to think about it and they can just play. So that's become a big responsibility for me, and on stage, and sometimes we have other programmers that are, I'll do some of the programming and then there'll be someone off stage that's actually running it, but we're cueing each other like they're another band member, and that's just the reality of things these days. And I don't really look at it as a threat or an unmusical thing. It's just another tool to be able to bring more to the audience as far as having the video involved and other audio and things like that. Another thing that's useful with a gig like Enrique is having knowledge of electronic drums, things like that. Endorsing Roland. To me, they're making the best stuff out there. And especially their SPDSX, which is something that's very easy to load your own samples in. It's got its own click track, it's got multiple outputs, but I also use the V-Drum TD30 and all their pads. So with Enrique, I tend to use more of that because there's someone off stage running drum loops and things like that. So, but that stuff's all helpful and just another tool to be able to do what you do for a living. So I just look at them as tools, creative tools, and it's been very helpful. So.